Epstein's scandal explodes again. Trump, Dershowitz and billionaires exposed in the shadowy underbelly of global elite networks. Few stories have captivated and horrified the world quite like the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. As we dive into August 2025, this case continues to explode with new revelations, sending shockwaves not just through courtrooms and tabloids, but straight into the heart of financial markets and corporate boardrooms. What started as allegations of sex trafficking and abuse has evolved into a sprawling web of influence peddling, implicating billionaires, politicians, and business titans. And now, with fresh developments under President Trump's administration, the Epstein files are reigniting fierce debates on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers clash over transparency and accountability. This isn't just a true crime thriller, it's a masterclass in how personal scandals can torpedo reputations, crater stock values, and reshape entire industries. Buckle up as we explore this saga and extract the golden nuggets of wisdom for savvy investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders navigating today's volatile markets. Let's rewind to the core of the storm. Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier whose private island, infamously dubbed Lolita Island, became synonymous with exploitation, was arrested in 2019 on charges of running a sex trafficking ring that preyed on underage girls. His 2019 death in custody, ruled a suicide but shrouded in conspiracy theories, only fueled the fire. Fast forward to 2025, and the drama is far from over. Recent court rulings have slammed the Trump administration's attempts at what critics call a smokescreen of transparency, with a federal judge delivering a brutal rebuke to efforts to selectively release documents. Meanwhile, lawsuits are piling up against the Department of Justice and FBI, demanding records on how the administration handled Epstein's case, including communications that could expose deeper ties to powerful figures. Attorneys for Epstein's victims, like Jack Scarola, have gone on record blasting the DOJ for lacking genuine interest in openness, arguing that political maneuvering is prioritizing protection over justice. Even EpsteinGhislaineMaxwell's grand jury transcripts remain sealed, despite Trump's public calls for release, calls that many see as deflection amid growing scrutiny. At the epicenter of this renewed frenzy is Alan Dershowitz, the Harvard law professor emeritus, whose name appears a staggering 137 times in unsealed Epstein documents. Dershowitz isn't just any lawyer. He's a legal luminary whose quotes on freedom and justice have inspired figures worldwide, including prominent Chinese legal scholar Luo Shang. His famous assertion that a nation's true freedom is measured by how it treats the accused, even the most reviled ones, stood as a beacon of principled defense. But in the harsh light of Epstein's files, it reads like a self-serving manifesto. Dershowitz defended Epstein in court, but allegations go deeper. Victim Virginia Giuffre claims she was forced into encounters with him at age 17, detailing graphic scenes in a room with a red velvet chair and a central shower. These aren't vague accusations, they're vivid testimonies that paint a picture of unchecked power abuse. Dershowitz's past suggestions to lower the U.S. age of consent to 14 now seem eerily prescient or damning in retrospect, and his response to the latest exposures, a fiery Fox News interview where he demanded full court records be opened, only to pivot into attacking radical feminists pushing for disclosure, accusing them of hypocrisy for not condemning alleged Hamas atrocities against Jewish women. It's a classic deflection tactic, but in 2025, with FBI memos from July reviewing Epstein's files for exhaustive transparency, such moves only amplify suspicions. Prince Andrew, another accused figure, has reportedly retreated into seclusion, portraying himself as the wounded party amid Daily Mail headlines of his heartbreak. These reactions underscore a timeless truth. When the elite fall, they don't go quietly, they lash out, sue, or hide. But why should this matter to the world of finance and business? Because Epstein's empire wasn't built on thin air. It was fueled by Wall Street wizardry, hedge funds, and connections to titans like Leon Black of Apollo Global Management and Les Wexner of L Brands. Epstein positioned himself as a financial advisor to the ultra-wealthy, managing billions while allegedly using his island as a honey trap for influence. The fallout: Black resigned from Apollo amid scrutiny over $158 million paid to Epstein, causing the firm's stock to dip and investor confidence to waver. This scandal exemplifies reputational risk, a buzzword in boardrooms that's now a multi-billion-dollar threat. In today's market, where ESG, environmental, social, governance, factors drive trillions in investments, scandals like this can slash valuations overnight. Consider how Harvey Weinstein's downfall tanked the Weinstein Company's value, leading to bankruptcy, or how Enron's fraud erased $74 billion in shareholder wealth. Epstein's case is a stark reminder. Associations matter. A single leaked document can trigger shareholder lawsuits, regulatory probes, and boycotts that ripple through supply chains. Zooming out to the broader financial landscape in 2025, we're witnessing a seismic shift. Post-Epstein, transparency isn't optional, it's currency. Investors are flocking to funds prioritizing ethical governance, with ESG assets projected to hit $50 trillion globally by year's end. Companies like BlackRock are doubling down on due diligence, screening executives' personal ties to avoid Epstein-like bombshells. But the risks persist. Trump's fact-check defenses of his own Epstein connections have sparked market jitters, with some analysts linking it to volatility in defense and tech stocks tied to administration policies. Meanwhile, the BBC's ongoing coverage highlights how Epstein's network spanned continents, influencing everything from real estate deals in the Virgin Islands to shadowy offshore accounts. For entrepreneurs and investors, the lessons are crystal clear and actionable. First, vet your networks ruthlessly. In a hyper-connected world, one bad association can undo decades of building. Tools like AI-driven background checks are booming, with firms like Clearview AI seeing surges in corporate clients post-Epstein. Second, embrace radical transparency. Companies like Patagonia and Ben & Jerry's thrive by owning their values, turning potential scandals into brand strengths. Third, diversify risks. Don't bet the farm on charismatic leaders. Build resilient structures with independent oversight. And for traders, watch the headlines. Scandals often precede short-selling opportunities. When Epstein docs dropped in 2024, related stocks like those of implicated banks dipped 5 to 10%. Savvy investors cashed in. Yet, amid the darkness, there's opportunity. The Epstein saga has spurred innovation in ethical finance. Blockchain for transparent transactions, AI ethics audits, and victim support funds are emerging as hot sectors. Venture capital is pouring into clean tech and social impact startups, with returns outpacing traditional markets. Imagine a world where due diligence includes scandal-proofing. That's the future Epstein inadvertently accelerated. In conclusion, the Epstein scandal isn't just salacious gossip, it's a cautionary epic for the finance world. As 2025 unfolds with more files potentially unsealed, the stakes couldn't be higher. For business leaders, the message is simple. Power without accountability is a ticking time bomb. Build with integrity, invest with eyes wide open, and remember, in the markets, as in life, secrets don't stay buried forever. This is the thrilling, treacherous arena of high finance, where fortunes are made, empires crumble, and the next big story could redefine everything. Stay vigilant, stay ethical, and who knows, you might just turn scandals' lessons into your greatest asset.